Paul Aris asks, Riku here, he asks, your bio says hobbyist game maker. I didn't know you made games. What games have you made? The games I've made are mostly for Glorious Trainwrecks, so they're not, like, I mean, they're games. I don't want to call them not real games, but they're very small. They're mostly for laughs. Although they've been very helpful with sharpening my Renpai skills. I've made a couple visual novels for it. One of them, which is Nick Simmons Simulator, which is, riffing off of the controversy over Gene Simmons' son, Nick Simmons, who wanted to become this great mangaka, plagiarized Bleach and One Piece and some DeviantArt fan art. And it's like, what are you doing? Look at your life. Look at your choices. I made one called My Secret Boyfriend, which is probably, like, I guess my best one that I've actually released. Although I really like the Goosebumps one too. It's about a girl who's having a secret tryst with her boyfriend while her parents are out, and her boyfriend slips and falls down the stairs, and he dies, and she panics. And it's a multiple choice game, except really there's only ever really one choice, because if you call the police and you get a bad ending, and if you wait until your parents come home, you get an even worse ending. So she hauls him up to her attic where there's a meat grinder, and well, I'm sure you can tell where this is going. So anyway, there's just a whole bunch of things, and it just gets worse and worse. It starts off as kind of a misunderstanding, and then it just compounds upon itself, and where, by the end of the game, it's actually a rather damning profile of her. I really like it though, and it got some really good words during it was made for the Click and Play Pirate Cart, so everybody was churning out games. I made one recently about Goosebumps, which was a parody of Goosebumps that had like 10 different endings. It was a parody of the Choose Your Own Adventures Goosebumps books. Reader Beware, You Choose the Scare, which I read all the time as a kid growing up. I bought a batch of them recently, and I've been rereading them. They're really hard to read because they have no plot and no structure to speak of. It's just like a fever dream, one thing happens after another, which is the point. I mean, that's the point of the entire structure. But it's still like, I don't have the attention span for that anymore. Or I don't have the non-attention span for that anymore. So that was really fun though. I'm not the best Goosebumps, parodist, but apparently my parody was pitch perfect, so I'm very proud. And I made a bunch of like really small ones, like Escape the Room game, which is literally one room and the only choice is click pixel, and you just click it forever and nothing happens. And I made one which is a parody of Pokemon. And I'm working on one now, actually. I'm working on one called The Heat Wave, which is, which is a long game. It has, characters and the script and everything. It takes place in my fictional city of Electrocopolis, which is like this tiered city in the middle of a dusty valley, and the inhabitants think that it's the only city, around, so they party all the time. They're very self-absorbed. At least up top they are, the rich 10% in the entertainment industry. And it's about these rich people in this fictional town who party all the time, and it's summer, and in summer, it often gets very humid, and the city basically turns into a pressure cooker. If you're down below with the rest of the mechanics and the, people, the kind of second lower class people, middle lower class people, you're fine because it's nice and cool down there. But up top, everybody's, all the celebrities who have to room together in these cramped, terrible apartments, their tempers start running very high. And, it's that one night of the year when the temperature is just at the point when everybody is starting to get really irritated and pissed off with each other. And, anything could happen, and before the night is out, somebody could be in terrible, terrible danger. So it's basically like about 6 people in an apartment building, and their interactions with each other on this night, because the air conditioning's gone out on the hottest night of the year. And it's a little thing, but it's sizable enough that it kind of sets off a chain of events. And it's going to have multiple endings without having actually any choices to make. Basically, what I've decided is that it's going to have you're going to have a random ending at the beginning of the game. Like, you're going to be set on a random path, but with the first line of dialogue in the game, you'll be able to tell which path you're on. So if you don't want that one, just restart until you get it, and hopefully, that'll be kind of easy for the player. I was originally going to just have it cycle through the endings using persistence, but I haven't really gotten the hang of it yet. And I feel bad bugging Christine Love for advice all the time, so I guess I'll just go with my first idea. I think it's kind of clever anyway. So, yep, that's what I have on my plate so far. I like working with Ren'Py a lot. It's a lot of fun. I don't know if I would classify my game as a game because there are no choices to be made in it, but it's a visual novel, and for most people, visual novels belong to the category of games. So, thank you very much for your question. I really enjoyed answering it. You have a nice night.